SC504 here, bringing you my Week 8 battle for the APL Insurgence League. This week we go up against Palm Tree, coach of the Philadelphia Fallings, and I know that they came in as a replacement. So they, on their own, I believe are 1-0, but the team's record as a whole, I think 3 different coaches have held the team as 4-3. So definitely some tough competition for sure. Especially just looking at the roster, they have a bunch of threatening Pokemon. They have Dragapult, Delta Chandelure, Therian Tornadus, Tentacruel, Tangrowth, Delta Mega Lucario, Dodrio, Bronzong, Glaceon, and Sawk. So plenty of issue Pokemon. There's a Dragapult here, Delta Chandelure, Tornti, Tentacruel, Tangrowth, Delta Mega Lucario, Bronzong. The other 3 are kind of cheap budget options, but I could even see them still coming in, potentially putting in work. But my prep sort of reflects me just really looking out for the most scary stuff, which is the Dragapult, Delta Chandelure, Tornti, and Delta Mega Lucario, in my opinion. So let's just get right into it. We've got our Porygon 2, Eviolite with Trace, with Teleport, Tri-Attack, Recover, Ice Beam. So ideally, what this thing can do is come in on the Delta Chandelure and eat hits from that, because I'm Spadef a Moonblast. I believe that Scarf is the best bring into me. So a Scarf Modest Moonblast, I believe, is doing under 50. Additionally, we can switch into Tangrowth and Trace Regenerator and fire off an Ice Beam into that, and then switch out, gain some of our health back, or even teleport out, and just have some fun with that. Tri-Attack and Ice Beam were really the only 2 offensive moves that really made sense, and it hits everything pretty well. This team is somewhat Ice weak. The only issue for this is Bronzong, but we can just recover up and teleport out of there into some of our many threats that handle Bronzong. Starting off with our Cinderace, which I'm rocking Scarfed this week, just so that I can catch the whatever wants to run Scarf and also outspeed Dragapult. Although that probably won't come into play that much. We've got Powerballs and Headbutt, Sucker Punch, and U-Turn, I believe, over Zen. Do I really want Zen? I think I meant to put Gunk Shot and just accept that Tentacruel I can just U-Turn out of. Yeah, I wanted Gunk Shot. Gunk Shot so that I can deal with the Chandelure if that thing comes Scarfed. Sucker Punch is for the Dragapult, and we'll just try to win with that. Scarf is really just to try to catch that Chandelure, like I said, and hopefully do well. But this thing can kind of just click buttons into this team. Tentacruel probably comes as a potential sort of way to answer this, but other than that, this thing just kind of goes crazy. As long as I believe Sub Dragapult comes this week against me, so having play around that potentially is scary, but Sub DD is a massive threat to my team, so I could see it coming. But yeah, up next we've got our Mega Flygon, which is Levitate. We've got Dragon Dance, Bug Buzz, Earthquake, Dragonclaw. I needed Bug Buzz so that this set just doesn't get stopped by Tangrowth, but with this spread, we will be able to take out a Tangrowth just because the physical bug moves that this thing gets, I don't think it gets X Scissor. So if we just look at Bug, what am I typing? Bug. Physical moves, we get Bug Bite, not doing enough. First Impression and U-Turn, both great in their own rights, but yeah, and then Fury Cutter, which is kind of meh. So we're just gonna rock with Bug Buzz. And then this spread lets me Oko Tangrowth with a Bug Buzz, also Delta Mega Lucario with a Bug Buzz. But yeah, this just really just puts in tons of work. Once Bronzong goes down, and even Bug Buzzes into that, do a good amount. But really, this thing is just looking to set up late game on something more passive, like a Tentacruel, even non-Mega, then into Tornti. Although that thing can kind of just stop us, but anything that comes as a little more passive, we're looking, especially the Tangrowth, if we've already foddered something to sleep, and the Tentacruel, but either of those setting up is really nice because we do pressure out Tangrowth with Bug Buzz. And then up next we have the Tangrowth Delta, Bramball, Leftovers, Rough Skin, Body Press, Rock, Spike, Synthesis. I do want Ground Stab on here, so Torrentee definitely comes boots. I'm grabbing Earthquake just so that I can hit Dragapult. Yeah, I need that so that I can hit Dragapult and not be walled by that. Also, hit Chandelure that might want to come in on a switch, although that would be a very risky play. It's still a play that could be made, and I want to potentially have an out for that, especially if like they think I'm like Body Press, Rock, Spike, Synthesis, because that's a set that I have run in the past and is another solid set into them, I think. Yeah. So up next we've got Delta Hoopa Unbound with Boots, Volt Switch, Air Blast, Ice Beam, Agility. Those two moves were all the moves that I needed for coverage into this team, I felt. And then I do kind of struggle with Bronzong, but like I said, whiz around the Bronzong and then just win. That's basically my strategy this week is get around the Bronzong and then just find a way to win. We've got Boots on the Hoopa so that we don't take any unnecessary rocks chip when we try to set up on something. But we can also just like Volt Switch out if we're like in front of a Tentacruel or something. Yeah, or like even in front of Torn, we can just Volt Switch and gain some momentum. The reason why I'm not U-turn this week is because we're a bit able, like if Delta Mega Lucario comes in and tries to block it, they have to be wary of an Ice Beam or Fairy Stab, so I just don't think it comes in at all safely. Then lastly, we've got Delta Darm, Banded, Shadow Sneak, U-turn, Sucker Punch, Ice Punch. We've got Wonder Skin as legitimate prep this week in case Tangrowth wants to fire off like Leech Seed or Sleep Powder. Dropping that down to 50 accuracy in front of this thing is kind of huge. And then Sneak Banded into Dragapult is like 50, which is crazy. We can U-turn on a lot of stuff. And then Sucker, we've got Dual Stab Priority. I did kind of want to fit Knock, but this thing was just going to get outsped by Scarf Chandelure too often, and that would just kill me. So yeah, this is the team. I really like it. I think we have a solid matchup, and I really hope that the Mega Flygon set I cooked up can put in some work. But yeah, until or not until next time, I'll see you guys in the battle. Alrighty, battle time. So we see pretty much everything as expected, but we actually see no Tangrowth and instead Tentacruel, which was a slight issue for my Cinderace, but overall felt good. Now, lead matchup, I just figured I'd lead Cinderace, and he leads Dragapult. So, turn 1, I was calcing, and I just clicked Sucker Punch, and it was like a 50-50. And if he just clicked U-turn, that would do a ton to me afterwards. But if I got the roll, which I had a 50% chance to, would have been really nice. And we just get it, which is really nice. We get Dragapult out of the way turn 1. And out comes the Mega Delta Lucario. It goes for a knock. So I was like, damn, this thing's probably physical. As they just switch into Torn, I get 29% off on it. And I go into my Porygon 2. Tracing Regenerator as they plot up, which is potentially an issue. But they click Focus Blast as I teleported out. I didn't know if they would bring Focus Blast this week, but that was range for my Cinderace, so I could just click Pyro Ball. And that damage on Bronzong revealed that they were in fact heat proof, which meant that my Flygon set could potentially put in way more work. So I go out into my Delta Darm, trying to force a switch as they go for rocks. Here, this is where I wish that I had Knock, but it's fine. I thought they would switch, so I just went for a U-turn, but instead they go for a Toxic. I DD up in this thing's face. It goes for a Heavy Slam, which does a chunk. But I can click EQ here safely, and we get rid of the Bronzong. And now the Torn comes out. I go for a Dragon Claw, do about 80%, which is why I was like, I set up slightly too early. And out comes the Delta Chandelure as I die. and I go out into my Cinderace to click Gunk Shot, but they obviously have some switch-ins, which is why I was like, damn, I should go for U-turn, but I just didn't want to risk anything. We do end up a chunk to the Tentacruel. I switch out into my P2 to trace their Liquid Ooze, which I was like, yeah. They Ice Beam me, doesn't do really anything. They Toxic now. I go for a Recover, and they switch into their Lucario. I go for a Tri-Attack, which does a chunk. And now here I didn't want to like lose my Eviolite, so I went into my Delta Tang as they go for a knockoff, because I thought they were fully physical. But here they catch me, they go for Grass Knot, which I just did not expect. It crits me, which is unfortunate. And I just go out into my Darm, and they click EQ. I thought they were gonna go for something else, so yeah, that was my bad. But I U-turn out. I shouldn't have sacked my Darm there unnecessarily, but I U-turn, kill it. I thought they would have Sucker Punch, which is why I didn't do that initially. I go out into my Hoopit. They Moonblast me, and I go for an Aeroblast. We unfortunately don't quite get that roll, which was unfortunate, but I go out into my P2, which I knew could live one of these, but not a second one after Toxic, which is slightly unfortunate. But I just kind of sacked that thing off. It didn't do too much. So now I went into my Cinderace. They switch into their Torn, as I go for a Pyro Ball, get rid of that thing. And now they go Tentacruel. I'm Choice, so I need to switch into my Hoopa. They go for Corrode, which is a nice bring, in case like Empoleon comes, which would otherwise wall this thing. Then I just go back out into my Cinderace, but at this point it's GG. Sucker is going to be doing 49, which is just not quite enough. So, yeah, unfortunately we pick up our second loss of the season, but we can still bounce back. Even if we do go, even if we lose our last 2 games, we should still make playoffs, which is really nice. But, yeah, that'll be my Week 7 battle. See you guys, or Week 8 battle. Damn. Yeah, I misspoke there, but see you guys next week.